guys, welcome back to briansguitarlessons.com. I'm Brian, and in today's video lesson we're going to be learning how to play 7th chord arpeggios. So what is a 7th chord arpeggio? Well, if you're familiar with music theory, 7th chord arpeggio is where you take the basic triad, which would be your root, 3rd, and your 5th, and you add the 7th as the chord indicates. So we have a major 7th, we have diminished 7th chords. It goes well beyond that, but I chose to use 3 arpeggios to highlight this because I think these are the 3 most common 7th chord arpeggios you might run into. And one of the reasons you might want to use a 7th chord arpeggio is because it can add a jazzy sound to your playing, rather than just playing a major or a minor arpeggio triad. You can add that 7th in there and it gives it that jazzy sound that you might be wanting to add to your playing. So I chose 3, and the 3 I chose was a major 7 arpeggio, a half diminished 7 arpeggio, and then a minor 7. And these are the 3 very common arpeggios you might run into that have added 7th chords in them. And I only chose 3 to save time. I mean, there's a myriad of 7th chord arpeggios you could go through, but I just highlighted 3, and these are 3 common ones. And incidentally, they're going to be in the same key, meaning that the chord changes that I use are indicative of the key that I'm in. So I happen to be in the key of C major, and so I'm going to move through, my first arpeggio is going to be a C major arpeggio, then I move into a half diminished 7, which is going to be a B half diminished 7. And again, if you're familiar with music theory, that is the 7th chord in a C major chord progression. So we have the root, which is going to be a C major 7, and then we have the half diminished 7, which is going to be your 7 chord, and then we move into the 6th chord in that progression, the 6th chord, which would be the A minor 7. So we have a C major 7 arpeggio, a B half diminished 7 arpeggio, and then an A minor 7 arpeggio in there as well. So let me show you this. So these 7 chord arpeggios, you have 4 notes rather than your traditional 3 notes that you would normally have in a triad. Tri meaning 3. You add a 4th note to this. So in the case of our first one, we're going to be playing a C major 7. So the 3 notes we're going to have there are going to be C, E, G, and we're going to add the note B. That is our 7 in the chord. And so the way I start this is I actually start on the 7 for my arpeggio. I start on the note B. Moving to a C, which is found, they're both found on the 6th string, so we have B to C. And then we change strings and we move to an E on the 5th string. So we have B, C, E, and then I'm going to add the 5th, which is G, which is found on the same string as the E. So now we move over there, now we have B, C, E, G. And then we move to the next string, and we have a B here again. We're just going to be repeating those 4 notes. So we had those 4 notes in the beginning, B, C, E, G. Repeating over here, we have B, C, E, G, and you can use the same fingering as you move up there. I think it's going to be a lot easier. So you have B, C, E, G, B, C, E, G, and then again, B, C. And that's where I end my arpeggio. So we have B, C, E, G, B, C, E, G, B, C. And that's where you end that there. Now I came up with a sequence moving through that, and what a sequence is it's a pattern found within either a scale or it could be an arpeggio, but it's a pattern that constantly repeats itself. So the pattern I believe I used was we're going to play B, C, E, G, back to E, and then C. So that's the pattern, B, E. And if you want to do that, you could do a pull off from G to E. Adds a sense of smoothness to the arpeggio. So now you have. And then what we do is starting on E, we repeat that same pattern. So now we have E here. So now we combine that. And this is just a little exercise you can kind of do to get familiar with the arpeggio. So now we have. And then we repeat that again, starting on B. Kind of the same thing we did on the low E string. So So that completes the whole phrase for C major. Okay, and then when we come back up, we're going to be doing the same pattern, but we've changed chords now. Now we're going to be playing B half diminished 7 arpeggio. And so the notes in that B half diminished 7 are B, then we have D, F natural, not F sharp, because that adds for the diminished. And then we have an A, which is a minor 7, so that makes it a half diminished 7 chord. So now we're going to be pulling off from a B to an A, and going up to an F. We started with a, we ended with a C to end our C major 7 arpeggio. And we come back, not too far away, we're going to be coming back on that B. So now we have a B to an A, and coming up to an F. And same pattern, so it's going to be to our D, pulling off again, to our B, coming back to D, and then back to B, A, so now we have, and then repeat that again, to F, we have F here, A, F, D, pulling off again, to A. So those are all our notes in a B half diminished 7. So we have so let's combine those two and see how we sound. So we So they kind of work in smoothly there together. So I told you we had a third one. So we have our major 7 we've already got down. We have half diminished 7, and now we need one more, which is going to be our minor 7. And so for this, we're going to be moving into an A minor 7. So an A minor 7 is the triad of an A minor. So we have an A, C, and an E, but we add our 7, which is going to be G, and it's going to be a minor 7 in this one. So moving from there, we ended on A, which is actually the root of the next chord we're going to. From our B half diminished, we ended on A. Now we're going to be going to A minor 7. But I'm going to be starting this on G, which is the 7 of A minor. So we kind of have this smooth transition. You can even do a hammer on there if you want. So moving through this chord, we have G, A, and then we have C, E, and then we have G, back to A, just kind of repeating these notes. Then we have C, E, A, and then, G, and then A. So we're moving through all those notes. So again, it's going to be the same pattern we did on the C major 7, moving downward. So we're going to have, and I'm ending on the 7 there on G. And so again, that's the same sequence we had on the first one. So the first one we had was just going to be applying the same principle on the A minor 7. Okay, so let's combine all these different arpeggios and see how it sounds. So we have and there you have it. You have different chord arpeggios that you can use to kind of jazz up your playing a little bit. So I hope you found this video lesson helpful. And again, my name is Brian, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks. Bye.